Let's take a look now at LS502, legal research, analysis, and writing. In the legal field, whether you're a paralegal, whether you work for a government organization, a private practice law firm, and a corporate legal department, or whatever you choose to do in research and writing, you will find these are critical areas. We're not in the mathematics business here. We're not downing mathematics, but there's no math in law school, basically, as to coursework. And so we are about the written word. And so we need to be very careful with our choice of words, with how wording is used, especially in fields like contracts. A single word in a contract can be a major problem in litigation, for example. So legal research, analysis, and writing needs to be a great focus of everyone who works in the legal community. And so we will analyze primary and secondary sources of law. Primary sources of law include things like statutes passed by legislative bodies and Supreme Court decisions, whether they be state or federal. Those are primary sources that state what the law is without question. But then we have secondary sources that can be helpful too, such as journal articles, law review articles, opinion pieces written by influential members of the bench and bar. But these do not take the place of Supreme Court decisions or statutes, state and federal. They are but secondary sources. When we're looking at law review articles, they will have a law professor or a judge's opinion about a matter, but the judge or professor may be wrong and may not have studied thoroughly and may have overlooked some things. And so this is why this analysis needs to happen. A primary source of law is something that is a primary resource based on who wrote it and when it was written and things of that nature. So, for example, if you're trying to do something today in researching what happened as to some event 200 years ago, I wasn't alive, you weren't alive, nobody on earth is alive who was alive 200 years ago. And so we're not going to be able to have eyewitness accounts there unless those people wrote those accounts down contemporaneous with the events. Those would then be sources that would be more dependable than would be a source written by someone who wasn't there, who hasn't thoroughly studied the history, and who's just basically writing what he or she happens to think about it. So we need to analyze these things. Also, we will look at what a case brief is. And this is a major important part of the discipline of good legal research because we need to find relevant cases. Now, we don't mean Google things. That's not acceptable here. We need to use Westlaw that's provided to you through the university library. Westlaw is kept accurate and up to date practically as much as humanly possible. I had a case several years ago before state Supreme Court. At 10:30 that morning, I received a call from the clerk of the court telling us that our client had won on appeal. And I decided I'd play a little game with Westlaw. How long will it take them to get our case online for all the world to see? And the attorneys were all called at 10:30 that morning. Well, I check about 11, 11:30, 12, 12:30, you get the idea. I check at 2 o'clock, the case is not there, but when I check at 2:30, the entire case is there. And so in 4 hours from the time the attorneys were informed of the result, and then were able to tell their clients, then 4 hours later, the whole case was on Westlaw, and it's been there ever since. And this is not recent. This is a case from 20 plus years ago. So they're very fast at getting current information online. And I would encourage you to get fast and get good at using Westlaw while you have the free access, because it's not free out there in the real world of practice. And a law firm or an office with the government, they're not going to pay per minute charge for you to get good and get fast at Westlaw. They're going to expect you to know how to use good research tools when you arrive. Also, we will apply then legal research to a fact pattern you'll be supplied with in the course. I think you'll really enjoy this exercise, and you'll draft a legal memo or memoranda as well as part of this. So good, competent legal writing, there's really no substitute for it. And it's important also to properly use citation, to cite your sources, cite your references. This is absolutely critical. So citations need to be checked and double checked in all of your written work. So there's no substitute for this class whatsoever. It's absolutely essential that you strive for excellence in legal research, legal analysis, and always in legal writing.